Welcome to the Indie Author Showcase. I'm Chad Robert Morgan.
And I'm the guy who put demons on the number one of his list. Do you not think demons should go number one on the list?
Oh, I've already said that. I said no. Demons were the bottom of my list.
You're just wrong. Come on, man.
I don't think,
Have better opinions.
I just don't think good sex is worth losing your soul over. That's all.
Who says you're losing your soul?
Because it's a demon. That's what they do.
You don't know that.
So, yeah, demon. Sort of in the job
What
description.
if it's like one of those like romance novels and they
We are
go attach
so
it to
not rehashing this. We have a whole other podcast where we did this. Just watch last week's episode.
I think we can go over this twice.
No. No, moving on. Moving on. So, as much fun as that topic is,
Because it is. It's necessary.
yes, I want to talk about something that's notably much less fun. Okay, so we don't get political on this podcast. Not that we don't have strong political beliefs, but this is just not the time and place to vent them. Right? This is about indie authors. This is not about politics.
Right?
Right? However,
Gasp!
dun dun dun. However, I do think we need to discuss how the election is potentially already affecting indie authors like ourselves, especially ones that are going out to trade shows and the like.
I'm taking the mouse because this is gonna be a very you-centric episode, and so for the most part, to people listening, to people watching, it's gonna look a bit more like this for a lot of it. So just get used to that real quick.
Anywho, so
I'll take more precedent on the book review then.
yeah, getting back on topic.
Yeah.
So you can keep it on both of us.
Okay. Right.
All right. So what can you tell me about tariffs?
Taxes imported on stuff coming in.
Right. So Trump has pledged like a 10 to 20% tariff across the board and like a 50% tariff on everything from China,
Right.
right? So we are in a global marketplace these days, right?
Right.
Even stuff that's actually made here in America, we still get parts and materials from overseas. There isn't any one country that really has a monopoly on being able to build everything,
Right.
right? There's already anecdotal stories of companies being told that their prices for goods are going to increase in January. There's already anecdotal stories of companies that have canceled Christmas bonuses because they are trying to stock up on goods now before prices increase.
Oh, well, isn't that just joyous?
Yes. So the point being is, how does this affect us as indie authors? Um, and right now, I don't know. In terms of books, because I don't know where the materials for our books are coming from. If it's all American made, then we're good.
But if it isn't,
Well, then the costs are going to go up, and then we have to pass those to the consumer.
oh, days.
Now, here's where it also gets a little dicey.
Dicier?
Dicier.
Oh no.
So typically, when we oppose a tariff, this is what happened the last time. We opposed the tariff on China.
Right.
China retaliated by putting a tariff on, I think it was soybeans.
Okay.
Well, that dropped the demand, and farmers were starting to lose their farms,
Oh.
right? Because they
Right.
couldn't sell it to their biggest customer, which was China.
Right.
The government actually had to start bailing them out. So they used our taxpayer dollars to pay farmers who could not sell their product because of a retaliatory tariff that China imposed on us in response to the ones we've imposed on them.
Oh,
So see how this is kind of like dominoing here?
yeah.
So even if the materials to make my book is all American made, what happens if we impose this tariff on, say, England? Are they going to retaliate by putting a tariff on us? And does that make my book more expensive to sell in England? Or does my distributor actually publish it there in uh, England to get around that tariff? You know. Now, when it comes to drop shipping, I'm not too worried about it because, like, we use Printful for all our T-shirts and everything like that. They actually have factories and stuff around the world. That's one reason why I use Printful, because if I'm going to sell something in England, I don't have to pay an outrageous shipping cost because it's printed there in England,
In England.
and so the shipping is local. It's not like I'm printing them here in Tallahassee and they have to be shipped over,
Right.
right? Um, what really worries me is our 3D prints,
Right.
which we print the monsters, we paint them, and we sell them at these conventions, right?
Right.
I don't know of an American-made printer resin. I think Frozen might be an American-made printer.
So what you're worried about is that the prices of your resin is going to increase.
Not only the resin, but also the printers, the printer replacement parts.
Oh, so basically everything printer
Yes.
is going to go up.
In fact, the paints I use primarily are Vallejo, and those are, I believe, from Italy.
Wow. Italian. Oui,
I,
oui.
I think Vallejo is based. It's based in Europe somewhere. I think they're based in Italy. Italy. So, um, those are obviously not the only paints I could use, but those are like my paints of choice.
Right.
So, does that mean the cost of just making this product is going to go up across the board? I don't know. So, what some people are doing is they're stocking up now.
Right.
The fear of, now keep in mind, prices haven't gone up yet,
Right.
but people are being told to expect them to go up in January
Right.
when he takes office and does this. So these laws haven't passed yet. So it's just the threat is enough to cause concern in the business communities.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is something I think we're going to keep an eye on moving forward. Obviously, I've not gotten any emails saying that the prices of this are going to go up. I've not seen the price of our stuff. We have enough stock on hand, at least for the next convention, so I don't have to order anything new.
Mhm.
But we're going to have to wait and see what happens. And the other thing that concerns me is how is this affecting the consumer? Because if the price of the things that you want, like one of the things I'm worried about too is the cost of PlayStations.
Right.
Because if that goes up 20%, um, and keep in mind, I work for a game company that doesn't work exclusively with Sony, but does do a lot of work with Sony. So how is that going to affect my day job if like the cost of video games become more expensive, right? But getting back to how this relates to the indie authors, if everything is becoming more expensive because of these tariffs, you're going to have less disposable income.
Right.
Less disposable income means you may not be spending money on books because you don't have it. You're more worried about things like milk,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Or rent.
Or rent. So, um, this is going to be an interesting few years, and we're going to have to wait to see one if these tariffs actually happen, right? I know he's threatened them, he said them, but I don't know. That doesn't mean they'll actually happen. I think it's a safe bet because he's done it before. That's why everybody's freaking out. But they ain't happened yet. So until they happen, they haven't happened, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
So there's always a chance that somebody will talk them out of it before it actually happens. I'm not counting on it. I'm not expecting that, but hope lives eternal. Anyway, um, but we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see if that causes a lot of inflation, like some economists warned, which means less people with disposable income. If the cost of products are going to have to go up, I mean, are we going to have to raise the prices on our books or raise the prices on our 3D prints? You know, maybe the books stay the same, but the prints have to go up because a lot of that does come from China, right? The resin comes from China, the printers come from China. Um, so, you know, maybe the books stay, but so we don't know yet. Um, there is one, I don't want to say bright side, but one um, potential for taking advantage of the situation. And that is um, getting in these conventions is a challenge. Okay. It doesn't matter what convention it is. Pick one. They're all going to say the same thing. It's so hard to get into because they give preference to the people that were there before.
Right.
Um, and everybody signs up to go back. So there's never an open slot. And there's only so much room in these convention floors, right? It's not
Right.
like the Long Beach Convention Center is going to expand for Midsummer Screen. There's four walls. That's as big as it's going to get,
Right.
right? So if things do start getting more expensive, some people might have to start making the hard decision about whether or not they want to continue going to these conventions if they're getting their money's worth out of these conventions. And what that might mean is that might make for openings for fresh people to get into these conventions. This is actually happening already to us with Comic Con. So we started going to conventions because we had a boss at work that had a booth at Comic Con that he wasn't using.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Why don't you take it? I'm not using it. I don't want to give it up because it'll take me at least 5 years to get it back, if not 10. It's worth it if you just borrow it." So we got the booth for free the first year. Second year, they got a little bit more stingy and they said, okay, but you got to pay for half of it. I'm like, okay, fine. I paid for half of it. This year, or the third year, Chris gave it to somebody else, right? He gave it to our friend Scott Campbell, right? So he used the booth for the third year. The third year I knew about it. Chris had it for years before that. But the third year we didn't go. Scott went. Fourth year we thought Chris or Scott was going to take it again. He decided no, he doesn't want to take the booth. Chris was trying to offer it to us. We said,
Why you got shit?
huh?
Why you got shit? Scott's name alone brought a bunch of publicity. So even if you just
Scott and I have talked about that a little bit. Let me finish this thought and then we can bring
after
that topic.
this thought, we'll go into the book review.
Yeah, but real briefly, I can circle back to that. I'll talk to you about Scott in a minute. Um, Short answer is that topic has come up a couple times, but um, Scott didn't want it. We couldn't afford it because Comic Con's like $3,000,
Yeah.
right? I can do 3 horror cons. You know, I can do Creep IE, Midsummer Scream, and Monster Palooza for the cost of um,
One
and
night.
WonderCon for the cost of going to Comic Con, right? So it's just it's too expensive, and I passed. We actually at one point I almost convinced Dicey Grenner to take the booth. But ultimately she passed because it was just too much of a unknown situation. You know, too many people she didn't know, too many, you know, not doing San Diego Comic Con with her style of books and everything like that. You know, would that be well received? The expense and everything. It was just too much to roll for her to roll the dice on, which I understand. I mean, you know, we just like met online like a couple months ago, it's like, and then, hey, you want to spend 3 grand on a booth from a guy from a buddy of mine kind of thing. I mean, I know Chris, you know Chris, but you gotta admit,
Sketchy.
it sounds sketchy if you don't know the people,
Yeah.
right? And Chris understood, right? He's like, yeah, I get it. Fair enough. No harm, no foul. But he's like, I'm going to have to let the booth go. I can't afford it. I can't offload it because nobody else can afford it. I have to let the booth go. So there is now an opportunity, and I'm sure somebody's already taken it because it's Comic Con. It's a 5-year waiting list. But that made an opportunity for somebody new to get into San Diego Comic Con that could not get in before. And so this, if this plays out like it threatens to, this can be a very uh, economic reshuffling of the deck.
But also, the people going to each of these cons will be making less money.
Potentially, yeah. Which again is why some of these people might decide that it's not worth it to go. And if they don't go, that's going to make openings for new people. It might also, fingers crossed, mean that in order to attract more vendors, maybe some of these prices have to start to lower to
Right.
make it worthwhile, especially if they start losing a lot. I don't see that happening really soon because there's such a long list to get into these things. But if this goes on for several years and they're getting booths that aren't sold, if they have empty booths, like I said, it won't happen this year. It probably won't happen next year. But if like 3 and 4 years they're having a tough time selling every space in their convention, that might push prices to go down low. The point being is that if you can take advantage of that, you can get in when you previously couldn't, and if you can afford to ride the depression out to where when we start coming out of it, then you're in good shape. Okay. I mean, we did something similar when we bought our house. We bought our house in the middle, at the tail end of the housing crisis. Our house is now valued almost, not quite, almost 3 times more than what we paid for
Wow.
originally.
Wow.
Yeah. That's why I don't worry too much about finances because as broke as I am, I know I can always liquidate the house and move somewhere way cheaper, buy a house straight out with just the profits and retire,
Right.
right? And plus my work is now all remote, so I can literally work from anywhere in the country.
Canada.
I could, actually. I don't know if Canada would take us, especially if I'm still working in an American company. Um, but I mean, we could sell the house and move to Texas if we wanted to.
Polsbo.
We could. Out to San Bernardino, where the houses are about half the price of that they are. That's only about 60 miles down the road.
Wow. How much is that? How long is that? Of a drive?
With no traffic, it should be an hour. But there's always traffic, so it's always like 90 minutes to 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it's California. Anyway, so anyway, that's my spiel. That's my 2 cents on the topic. I would love, as this goes on, I would love to hear from any of my other fellow indie authors if the economic situation in the near future does affect you, or if it's affecting you now. If you're getting letters from your publisher or something saying, hey, your book prices are going to go up starting January, or by the time we get to say September, can you say, hey, my sales went up or went down or whatever. I would love to hear um, any news about this to see if any of these predictions are right, wrong, or indifferent.
Now, it's book review time.
You want to actually sit down?
Book review time. All right.
Real quick, before we do book
Oh,
review,
we can say that for next
real
episode.
quick, no, because this is going to be a little short. So you mentioned the idea of splitting a booth with Scott. And I've actually mentioned that because I've been trying to persuade him to join some of these other conventions, such as Monsterpalooza.
Right.
And by the way, Scott just recently got the ER again. He had some infection,
Oh,
so he's doing better now. But yeah, that is his number one concern, as he told me, is that as he mentioned in the interview, he's not in the greatest of health. And
no.
he's afraid that if he signs up to a convention and he has some sort of incident, he can't go and he just lost that money and he lost that space. So what I suggested to him is maybe we can team up, and then if something like that happens, I know a certain somebody who can run the booth for him in an emergency.
Ah,
Because you like Scott, you'd help Scott out of an
yeah,
emergency
I would.
for 10% of the profits, but that's all right.
Yeah.
So anyway, with that was just something that we were discussing. But that's why he's a little hesitant to sign up for conventions because he's got a lot going on at work. He's got a lot going on in his personal life, and he's got a lot going on health wise. So to him, it's a bit of a gamble. But I said whatever we can do to help mitigate that risk, please let me know. We are more than willing to help. See that one taking a whole episode.
Yeah.
All right.
Book
So
review
book review
time.
time. Okay. So what are we reviewing here?
Off's Ultimate Conflict
By
by Kathy Porter.
so we met her at HorrorCon,
Yes.
and she a very nice woman.
Yes.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and read the back of the blurb?
Rosa DeAngelo and Ellen McCarthy are about to become two of the newest victims of SEAS, severe environmental allergy syndrome. Haunted by dreams of visitation by orbs in the night, they wake up to news reports of UFO swarms and alien abductions by the thousands. Welcome to the future of Earth. The environment is being drastically altered, devastating the planet with increasingly destructive seismic activity and extreme weather. Thousands of people are suffering from seas and are now forced into isolation tent cities. With Earth headed on a catastrophic course, United States President Barbara Unger is searching for human salvation when finally contacted by two alien species, the Greys and the Guardians. They each offering each other's conflicting methods of action to save Earth. Knowing the Greys have manipulated humans while the Guardians' ulterior motives are unknown, President Unger will have to ultimately decide who is our friend and who is our foe. Will she place the fate of human race into the hands of the Greys or the Guardians? Kathy Portal thrusts us right into action. Ordinary people caught in terrifying scenarios must take extraordinary measures to save their children, themselves, and possibly Earth. This is a bona fide science fiction thriller and a great read. You are about to meet this group of confused, frightening residents of Caddy Portal's planet Earth. Readers will never feel the same about the occasional ringing in their ears.
So what did you think of the book?
It was kind of like, okay.
So if you look in the front of the book, it's got like four different awards on it,
Yeah?
and I looked at it up on Goodreads. It's very well reviewed. I will admit, um, I it was okay as far as I was concerned. Now we do have a thing on the podcast. We don't bring a book on to slam it, so we're not saying it's a horrible book. I would say though that based on the reviews we're reading, we're in the minority in terms of our opinion.
Yeah?
Um, and it's not a bad book by any stretch of the imagination. We're not saying it's bad. Um, One thing I find a little odd, and next time we meet her, we need to ask her about this. So, what does it say on the top of that book?
I will always keep Earth's Ultimate Conflict close to my heart. Ray Bradbury.
When was this book published?
Uh, I'm looking.
Should say on the title page.
Oh, yeah. 2014.
Ray Bradbury died 2012, if I recall correctly. Let me just verify that real quick, just to make sure.
Just to make sure.
Just make sure I'm not talking out my ass. Yep, died June 5th, 2012. So if you go on the website, there's actually a picture of her with Ray Bradbury. Okay. So I am wondering how that happened.
Did he get like an early copy?
I'm wondering, was he like a mentor? Was he like a family friend? Um, is she bullshitting us? I'm not sure, really. So yeah, if you go on the website, there is a picture of her with Bradbury, and I mean, it's not like it looks like it's photoshopped or anything. Um, so yeah, so how did he read the book 2 years before the thing was published?
I don't know.
Um, I think I will have to ask her if we ever run into her again into another convention, because maybe Ray Bradbury was an old family friend. Maybe he was a um, kind of a mentor to her. Maybe he did read early drafts and give her feedback. I don't know.
Right?
I would love to find an answer to that, to be honest.
Um. So yeah, this book was pretty okay. Um.
Now, I will say the audiobook was very well produced.
Yes.
There was uh, just enough sound effects. I don't like audiobooks that have like a crap ton of sound effects and um, you know, reverb in it to make the aliens sound like aliens and that kind of thing. Um, but a little sprinkle of that is good, right? Just enough to sell it,
Right.
right? Um, so I think this was okay in terms of they didn't overdo the special effects. I think they're straddling the line. I think if they did any more, they would have.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, the audiobook was very well produced.
It was.
Can you quit taking the quiz?
Sorry, I'm a bit confused.
Why are we taking the quiz?
Which
The,
president met with aliens? John F. Kennedy, I
no, it'd
guess.
be Eisenhower.
What?
Eisenhower. So on her website, thegreyguardians.com, there's a quiz on how do you know your aliens? Um, and somebody got distracted and tried to fill it out and got 66%, which I think is about average for you. Okay, that last one is definitely wrong.
Which one?
Go up, go up, go up. Oumuamua was not a probe. It was a big rock,
That an asteroid.
which is a big rock.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, there's no evidence it was a probe. As much as that would have been cool.
It would have been.
Anywho. So yes, on the website there is a quiz that you can take. Should we go through some of the questions? Okay. So let's not spoil, let's not give the answers, but let's talk about some of the questions. All right. Question number one. Amid a partial disclosure, which branch of our military service recently became the forefront of proof of alien life? Number two. How many alien species are out there?
In the infinite universe.
Yeah, we have proof of zero,
I
but I would imagine the actual number is,
around infinite.
well, unless you believe in the Hitchhiker's Guide.
Unless.
So Hitchhiker's Guide actually said the population of the galaxy was 0. So here's the logic. Okay, there is an infinite number of planets in the universe.
Yeah.
Okay. However, not all of them are populated. So only a finite number of planets have populations on them.
Mm-hmm.
Any finite number divided by infinity will eventually reach a number so small as to be statistically insignificant. Therefore, anybody you meet walking down the street is simply a figment of somebody's strange imagination.
Fun. With that, we all passed our time. With this, where can you find us?
Okay, so we'll start with our website. Go to shopspectralink.com.
Wowzers!
We also have a Patreon. If you want to help us
Wowzers!
get a better, maybe a better co-host that doesn't spend half the podcast doing alien quizzes.
Wowzers!
What is our convention schedule so far?
I have no idea.
Oh, come on. We talked about this last week.
I don't remember, dude.
We are starting with Creep IE.
Creep IE.
At the end of February.
At the end of February.
We will have WonderCon.
WondoCon.
And we have Monsterpalooza. Those are the 3 that are confirmed so far.
Woohoo! What? You're looking at me funny.
That's it.
Oh. Okay.
So, what are we reading for next week?
When Halloween was green.
We're reading When Halloween Was Green, and I am also starting Perennials.
Yep.
And I'm finally getting around to listening to Scott Harper's book.
Finally.
Yes, and I'm enjoying it. I think you'll like it. Very Victorian era vampire short stories.
Like the hot ones?
Like the what?
Like the hot ones?
I haven't gotten any. It's not like Dicey Grinner, if that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, but like other vampires described as being hot.
I don't know.
You should find out about that.
Well, I've only gotten like one short story done so far.
You should still find out about that. I think that's a pretty important thing to know if the vampires are hot now.
So somebody's got that blood fever.
Vampires are hot.
Somebody is fawning for the fangs over here.
Yeah.
Your heart's beating for those that don't have a pulse.
Yeah.
All right. Until next week. Go ahead and say it.
Say what?
Say the word.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Do I need to come up with a brand new catchphrase on the spot for a sign out?
Catchphrase?
A brand new sign out, since you're not saying yours anymore.
What are you talking about?
Oh my good lord. You're just fucking with me, right?
I have no clue.
He's fucking with me.
Am I supposed to or something?
Join us next week for the Indie Author Showcase.
Oh, toodaloo.
Fuck!